Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here, playing Zombie Army 4, continuing with our collectibles guide in Mission 3, Meat Locker, with a total of 17 collectibles throughout 4 of the chapters. Chapter 1, pretty much near the beginning, we can grab the comic by going through the front gate, working our way along the path, and then sticking to the left and making sure we go into the first house available to us. In here, on a chair, we can find a comic, which we'll obviously want to pick up. Next up, we'll make a little bit of progress. Make sure you use that top left corner objective to make sure you're on the same part as me. You'll go through a door and enter a courtyard with a couple of trees and a couple of small buildings. Inside of the far one, we can find our first document. We'll then make our way through a small bunker, and as we exit the bunker, there will be a large area with a lot of train cars, and there's going to be some objectives to do here. But before we do any of that, look down the hill to the right, and you'll notice that there is a tree kind of between the two areas, with a branch jutting out to the left. On this branch, you should be able to spot the zombie hand at quite a distance, or feel free to get a little bit closer if you think it'll make the shot easier for you. In the same area as the zombie hand, you should be able to also find a weapon upgrade kit, which we'll want to make sure to grab. And for this one, we'll go down the hill a little bit past the tree where the zombie hand was. You'll find 2 detached train cars, and one of them will have your weapon kit inside. So make sure you grab that before interacting with the door controls to kind of end off the chapter. Chapter 2 will start with you resetting all of the fuse boxes, which I've already done. This will allow you to open up a door and then go up some stairs. Before going up the stairs, make sure you go into the room at the bottom in order to pick up a comic book sitting on a wooden crate in the corner of the room. From that comic book, you can now go upstairs, and you will notice that as you reach the top, you're supposed to go to the left to progress the level. Instead, we're going to go to the right, and on the right, you can find a shooting range. There's a pretty cool little Easter egg here if you can figure it out, but we're just here for the weapon kit upgrade, which is through the door in the back kind of locker / storage area, finding the upgrade kit on one of the shelving units on the bottom level. Then we'll proceed and end up in a boxing ring where I've taken out all of the enemies who almost killed me as I have no health. But if you go forward and to the left where the door says 3, you should be able to go through this door and then through a door pretty much right in front of you to find a small classroom. And on the board of the classroom, you should be able to find your zombie hand walking up and down until you shoot it. Quite a bit later on, you'll be tasked with getting 2 thermite charges, and I've already grabbed them, but they'll be in this large room here. You can use your compass to find them. As you enter, what you want to do is go upstairs, and as you reach the top of the stairs, go forward and into a side room here. In this side room, you can find a bunch of little lockers, as well as a pretty obvious document on the table directly in front of me. I have it marked on my screen because I have a perk equipped from later on in the game. We now move on to Chapter 3, which for the vast majority of it is in this kind of one large room. From where you enter this area, just walk forward and look above you. There is a kind of cable that stretches across both rooms. If you follow along the cable, you should notice the zombie hand running back and forth along the cable. Make sure you take it out in order for it to count, and we'll grab all of the other collectibles here in just a second. From that kind of same spot of where we entered the room from, we can grab a weapon kit, which is pretty nearby, near one of the firing components we'll need to gather. Go down the stairs and then jump over the small lockers, I believe, and then you'll enter a office to the right-hand side. As you enter the office, you should notice a small booth directly in front of you with a somewhat obvious weapon upgrade. You shouldn't miss this one on your own, but if you're following along on your first playthrough, that is where you can find it. From that weapon upgrade location, we'll head back into the kind of main area. And if we head down the middle and go away from where we entered, we will end up at a dead end. And in the kind of right back corner, we can find a comic book that is sitting on a workbench of sorts. So we'll make sure to grab this. This is basically in the far right corner from where we entered. So once you pick that one up, there is one more we can grab while we're here. The document, which can be found inside of the side room, which I don't believe opens until you get to the next objective. So as you can notice, it says start the biodistillation process in the top left corner for me. And once I enter into that room, before I start it off, I'm going to just quickly grab the document sitting on one of the desks near some of this chemistry instrumentation. Last but not least, Mission 3 ends with Chapter 4. As soon as we enter, there is a zombie hand that we can snipe. It's going to be on the railing pretty close to us nearby on our left-hand side. It is the railing next to the train tracks that kind of run through the middle of this area. This area is one big area, so it's kind of like a horde style level. So everything's kind of within the same distance of each other. Next up, I'm going to show you how to grab the heroic action. From the very beginning, we'll just sprint forward and we'll notice that there is an NPC getting attacked by one of the tank kind of enemies, an armored giant. And basically we just want to make sure we can save the NPC from the armored giant, and as soon as we do that, the heroic action will complete. We'll save the NPC and they will run away. Just as a reference point, I've returned to the entrance of the level in order to show you where the document is. This place can get kind of foggy and overrun with zombies, so I think it's good to just have the reference point of where we started. Go into the bunker on the right hand side and into the far room. Here is kind of a little bit of a shooting area where you can look out some windows and find a couple of heavy weapons, and in that room you can also find a document. Returning yet again to the entrance of the area, what we'll do instead of going to the bunker on the right is go under the bridge on the left and stick as close as possible to that wall as you can. You'll see a little bit of a silo with a couple of sandbags near it. Make sure you grab the comic directly on top of those sandbags. And then from this area we can also find the weapon upgrade kit. To find that, you'll find it directly under the bridge that crosses right through the middle. Near the middle of the bridge, kind of right in the middle of the area underneath that bridge, you can find the weapon kit. And that's all of the collectibles for Mission 3. Thank you so much for watching. Hope the video was helpful. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. I'll see you in Mission 4. Peace.